Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and today, well, a puzzle by anti-knight, and I'm not instantly seeing an anti-knight restriction in the rule set. So, just before we get started on what is, there's something going on with this puzzle. Oh, there's doublers, right? Just before we get started with the doublers puzzle, I will remind you that in the links in the description field, you can find your way to our Patreon site where you can give us some micro sponsorship. $2 or $3 a month is all we ask for the two tiers that are most popular. Although there are, of course, people who are very generous and give more. And for that, you get an extra content every month, including a prize, either Sudoku hunt or a set of puzzles. And there's loads of other content. For $3 a month, you get the solution videos as extras to those puzzles. And it's very popular. And we are very grateful to anyone who's already a Patreon of ours. There's also, of course, the Discord server where you can interact with thousands of Sudoku interested people and other puzzles. And loads going on our apps, as always. And even some merchandise available. So do check it all out. The links are under the video. And the first link is to this puzzle. I don't know anti-knight as a constructor. I think it's a very cruel name, actually, because it implies there's a knight's move restriction, which is not apparently in the rules. I'm going to read the rules now. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That means we're going to put 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. The digits along each arrow must multiply to the digit. The digits along each arrow must multiply to the digit in the circled cell. That is unusual. I'm glad I'm reading the rules, because I would have just assumed, if I'd just skimmed over them, that as usual with arrows, we were summing to the number in the circled cell, but we're not, we're multiplying. The circled cell is the product of the digits on the arrow. Wow. 9 cells in the grid, and this is going to explain some of the apparent impossibilities. 9 cells in the grid, 1 in every row, column, and 3x3 box are doublers, which count as double their value on arrows. Each digit appears in exactly one doubler. Now, that means I'm going to try and guess a formation of these digits. It could be, I suppose, like that. There'd be 1 doubler in each row, column, and box, and those highlighted digits would be a set of the digits 1 to 9. That is the implication. Doublers aren't necessarily on arrows, and I think that means aren't necessarily on arrows or circles. They can appear on each, but they don't have to. The value of the doubler is counted if it appears, well, it says the value of the doubler is counted if it appears on a 1-cell arrow. For instance, if row 7, column 6 is a 3 and a doubler, so if that was a 3 and a doubler, then that is a 6. Although I suppose actually it could be a doubled 3 as well. I don't see why not. Oh, I see why that... Okay, I'm sorry, I understand why that rule has been added, because we're talking about multiplying in this puzzle. And you might say, what is 3 multiplying by? Or what is 6 multiplying by if it was just 1 arrow? Yeah, but okay, so that rule is appearing to explain that even if there's a 1-cell arrow, you use that value. You don't multiply it by 0 or anything crazy and mathematical like that. So, doublers could be anywhere. On arrows, on circles, on given digits, or on blank cells, I reckon. And we have to find them where they are. Gosh, okay, and it's products on these arrows. That's fascinating. Right, do give it a try on the first link under the video. I'm going to restart my clock and let's get cracking. That's the way we say it. Okay, so I think this arrow must force this to be a doubler, mustn't it? The minimum you could have here is 1, 2, 3. And the minimum here is 1, 2, because these digits have to be different in this box. These have to be different in that box. If you multiply that lot together, the minimum, you get 12. So that has to be doubled. Now, it doesn't mean that all of these are not doubled. So I'm going to be a bit cautious about that. One of them might be a 1 being doubled to a 2. So what this does mean is that nothing else in its row, column, or box is a doubler. So I'm going to colour all these cells green. I'm going to try and make all the doublers red and all the other cells green. Now let's actually do the count. So we worked out that at the minimum, these would be 12, and that would be a 6 being doubled. I don't think it can be a 7, can it? 14 there. The factors of 7 would be, well, to spread them out as much as they could be. Obviously, you could have 1s in these boxes, but after that, you'd need a 7 and a 2 and nothing else, and that's too many cells to be a 7 and a 2 and nothing else. So it's not 7. 9, yeah, 9 would be 18. That's certainly possible. 8 would be 16. That's also possible with a 1, 2 and a 1, 2, 4 and a hey nonny no. So we don't know quite what that is. I don't think there can actually be a doubler on this arrow. The minimum again would be 1 doubled to 2 and 2 and 3. That already takes you up to 12, and you'd need to multiply it again here. No, those are green cells. Okay, so that's a start. Oh, right, hang on. I was going to look at column 7, because I suspect we can do some work with these arrows. But actually, I've noticed this little stubby impossibility here. Right, those can't both be natural cells, because that would equal that. They can't both be doublers for the same reason, if you like, or because we can't have 2 doublers in a row. Therefore, one of them is a doubler, and the rest of the row is green. Oh, I suppose the same applies with this arrow. That's weird. I was looking at these arrows and thinking they could easily be both green. There's no problems there. And thinking diagonal arrows are fine, but that one is entirely contained within a box. So it's in exactly the same position as that. So one of those two is a doubler. I'm tempted to assume it's on the overlap. Is there a way that both of those could be a doubler and that one green? Oh no, there isn't, because of one of the rules. Each digit appears in exactly one doubler. If this was a green 6, say, these couldn't both be 3s, because they'd both be doublers, and we're only allowed to double 3 once. So those are green. That is the doubler. Now we can do a little bit more greening. Yeah, that wasn't much more greening. Right. So I'm going to go to column 7 and think about these arrows, where I don't think the position's very clear. I suspect we'll be able to work out that this is a doubler, but okay, if these were summing arrows like the normal arrow Sudoku, the minimum those could be is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now that would allow these to be both green, but that is not the situation today. If the minimum cells are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what is the absolute minimum? Well, where would 5 go? 5 would have to go... what I'm considering is if these were both green, is that possible? I'm thinking it's not. Where would 5 go if it was? Well, 5, actually, in this setup, it couldn't go anywhere, because it would have to be here with a 1 and a 2. But if you had 6, that could be on a single arrow. 6, 1 there would allow that to be a 6, but these would now be 2, 3 and 4. They multiply up to a double-digit number, 24. I mean, huge. So whichever one of these arrows, well, not quite whichever one of these arrows doesn't have a 1 on, but there is no way of getting 2 single-digit totals from the products that would go on those arrows. I can't express it more clearly than that. But you can only use 1 once to keep the totals down. And on the other arrow, like you could keep this down to 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 4, but that would then be 3 times 5 or 4 times 5, and that's just too big. So this is a doubler, basically. That's the proof of that. That means nothing else in the column is allowed by the rule to be a doubler, and we get a lot more green from that. And I'm still going to think about the numbers, actually, because I think they're still quite restricted. These can now add up to a maximum of 26. 9 doubled there is 18, plus 8 is 26. And we can still only use 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we couldn't have that 2, 3, 4 thing. Yeah, so I think that means these have to have a 1 in. Because otherwise, they're 2, 3, and 4 at a minimum. Oh, they can't be that. This can't be 24. Sorry, that's obvious. So it's not about the total of 26. It's about this total. That's why there must be a 1 on this arrow. And that means that this, which is an entirely genuine arrow, that is either 2 times 3 equals 6 or 2 times 4 equals 8 up here. And one of those is a 2. And now, back to this arrow, there is no 2 on it. So we've got 1 times 3 at a minimum. Well, yeah, forget, we've got to use 3, because if we didn't, this is 1 times 4 times 5 at a minimum, which is 20 and more than even 9 doubled can handle. So there is a 3 on this arrow, and there isn't on this arrow. This is now a 2-4 pair, making 8, which is our first digit we've written in. This is 1 times 3, can't be times 5, because that can't be double 7.5. I think it must be 1, 3, 6 multiplied together to give 18, which does get us the 9 on the doubler. Wow, that was complicated stuff in a way, but maybe it was trivial. I found it quite difficult. Right, this is resolved now. This is resolved. It's not allowed to be an 8 in the row by normal Sudoku rules. It's not allowed to be a 9 because we've doubled the 9 and it is a doubler. So that's a 6 now. And these have to multiply up to be 12, and that is the minimal case. So 1, 2, 3 there and a 1, 2 pair there. Wow, okay. Oh, this fella, this is doubled to give the same digit in those cases. So that is 1, 2, 3, or 4, and these are even 2, 4, 6, or 8. That doesn't really help, but it is nonetheless true. Now, there are 3 candidate arrows for what to think about next, I reckon. And they are here, here, and here. Ah, this is a good one. This is a good one because of what can these cells be? Now, any of these cells could be a doubler at the moment. But these cells can't be 2, 4, or 5 because they've been used up in the box. Now, 1, 3, 6. Now, can they have a 1 on? They couldn't have a 1 on if these were all green. Oh, can they not have a 1 on? Okay, that's a better question. That's a better question. How would these exist if they didn't have a 1 on? They would be at least 3 and 6, which multiply up to 18, which would require a 9 to be doubled. But we've had a doubled 9. We can't do that again. And if one of these was a doubler, the total would get even higher. And if one of them was a higher digit, this total would be higher than 18. That's all impossible. So there is a 1 on this pair of cells. That's weird, but it's true. Now that 1 could be doubled. Let's not forget that. But it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be. Normally, if those 3 were green, you couldn't have a 1 there because 1 times x gives x, and you'd have 2 x's in the column. But either 1 or x could be doubled, or indeed, you might double the circle. So I think there's actually lots of ways for this to exist. However, the number that sits with 1 in box 3 doesn't have a lot of options. Oh, no, it does if it's the 1 being doubled, does it? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Oh, it's very hard to compute. I think these 3 cells are from 136. But let me actually think about whether there are alternatives. If you put 1 and 7 here, it's no good doubling one of them because you're only allowed 1 doubler in the column. If you put 1 and 9 there, that's the same problem. So the only things that are left are 1 with a 3 or 1 with a 6. And even allowing for one of those to be doubled, the product is going to be somewhere from 3, 6, 6 again, or 12. Now, it's not going to be 12, the product, because that would require a doubler in this pair and a doubler here as well to make it match. And that's too many doublers in the column. So the total here is going to be 3 or 6. I think that is a solid conclusion. This is a 136 triple, but I think there are various ways of making it happen. The 3 could be here and be a doubler with a 1-6 pair here in either order. But if this can't be a doubled 6, it can be a single 6. And then here you would have 1 and 3, and one of them would be doubled. But it doesn't really matter which. So the value of this cell is 6, whatever is happening here. But I don't know whether it's being done with a doubled 3 or a single 6. But the doubler is in one of those 3 cells, so it's not in these 2. And then I get a bit stuck there. That's a shame. That's weird. So these are from 3, 6, 7, 9. That's all that's left available because we know that 1's on the arrow. It took me a long time to work out 1 was definitely on the arrow, but I did it. 7 can't be here because I was going to say just because it can't be, but because that would have to be a 7. There's no way you could have 7 as a factor on this arrow and double it in the other one. That can't be a 7 because there'd be nowhere for 7 in box 2. So why I care about this not being a 7 is because 7 is in one of those and one of those and must now be in one of those too. And I probably shouldn't care about that. Oh, hang on. Okay, I've just noticed, it's taken me a while, that this cell is not 1, 2, or 3. Now that makes this arrow interesting. Oh, something else that makes it interesting is that you can't repeat the circle digit in either of the arrow cell digits. So this one is at least 4. Now I think for the same reasons we were just going into with 7, it certainly can't be a 7. I wonder if it can be a 9. I don't think it can, because if that was a 9, what could you possibly put here? It would have to be a multiple of 9, and you couldn't put another 9 there, and you can't have doubled 9 or anything. I mean, it's just nonsense. So that's not a 9. If that was an 8, I mean, you might have the same problems. If that was an 8, this would be a multiple of 8. Ah, but it could be doubled then, because 8 is even. So you could have 8 here, 1 here, and 4 doubled there. That's so weird and so annoying. I suspect you can't have 5 here because it's odd. If this was 5, this would have to be a multiple of 5, and the only way you can put a multiple of 5 in is using the digit 5. Okay. So even allowing for doublers, it can't be 5. So that's 4, 6, or 8. Now, this is... I wish it was limited. Oh, it is limited. Look at that. That's gorgeous. There's a 1 X-wing. There's a 2 X-wing. Oh, that's ridiculous. This 1-2 pair. Right. what I mean by an X-wing in this case is there has to be a 1. We've concluded that in one of these two cells. There's definitely a 1 in one of those two, and that's going to use up the 1s for rows 2 and 3. So the 1 in row 1 is up here. It's the same for 2s. There's a 2 there and a 2 there. That uses them up for row 2 and 3. There's a 2 up there. Now, I don't really care about those cells at the moment. I care about this one. Now this cannot be a 1 or a 2. Right. Now, oh, that's lovely. We're going to multiply, like theoretically, it could be 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 or 9. But you've got to multiply these two digits at least, and maybe double one of them, to get that. Well, you're not going to double one of them, because the minimum these multiply up to now is 12. And that has to be doubled, therefore, to allow this to happen. So those are all green. That's a huge bit of colouring done. Now, what can it be? 4 and 3 doubled would give a 6 there, but we've already doubled a 6. 4 and 4 would give an 8 there, and we haven't doubled an 8. Much as that 8 in a circle looks like it's been doubled, it hasn't. 4 and 5 would give 20, and that's already too high. So this cannot be 5, 6, 8 or 9. This is 3 or 4. 4 times 4 is possible. 4 times 3 wasn't. 6 times 3 gives 18, and we've already doubled 9, and anything else is higher. So it is 4 times 4 is 16. That's a doubled 8, and that is progress. And that 4 looks across at the X-wings. 2, 4, 2, 1. We get a 1 here, and now I still don't know. I don't think I know that that's doubled. That's either a doubled 3 with 6 and 1, or this is a doubled 1 with 3 and 6. That's so weird. Okay, but it is true. There's a 4 in one of those cells by Sudoku. There's an 8 in one of these two. This can't be a 1. And that stops these being 2s. And what have we doubled now? Either 1 or 3 here. 9, 6 and 8. Still lots of doubling to do. This thing, I don't know, is that the next thing? I'd rather find something else if I can, because this looks like a complicated arrow to me. 4 and 4. One of these 3 is 4. Well, that's quite interesting. So 4 could obviously be there, but that would also put 4 here and 2 in the doubler. What happens if this is a 4? Now, it can't, oh no, it could be doubled. If it was just a green 4, if this was green, that would be doubled. That's quite a lot of pressure. So what could this possibly be? We've had 9, 8 and 6. So the only things we have left to double are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 7. If this wasn't doubled, it would be, no, then the doubler would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 7. But the total would be no more than 4. Unless you could have, if that's the doubler, you can't get 2 1s on the arrow. If it's not the doubler, you can in those positions. If this is the doubler, you can't. So I don't think this can be green, because the most it could be is 4. That is going to have a value of at least 2 because it's a doubler. Okay, it nearly worked with 1, 2, 1, but that theoretical 1 is impossible. So the case I was thinking about was that being a 4, 1, 2, 1, but that clashes with this one, so that can't happen. And I think therefore this cell cannot be green with that as the doubler in box 7, because you just can't get to a total. Now that you've used these high even digits, you can't get to a total that's low enough. Yeah, that is solid. Okay, so that is the doubler, unsurprisingly, but it took some proving, weirdly. Okay, so now next question, can it be double 4 and these multiply up to 8? I rather suspect they can, even allowing that this can't be a 1. These are all, in fact, to multiply up to 8, you'd have to either do it as 1, 1, 8 or 1, 2, 4. I don't think there's any other way in 3 digits of multiplying up to 8. But unfortunately, no, bother. 1, 2, 4 does work. If that's a 4, then there's a 4 there and that's a 1, 2 pair. So they would be the same. Okay. Well, it's a pity because I was hoping to eliminate down to that being a 4. This being a 4, I think we're stuffed because that's got to be at least a 2. Yeah, that doesn't work because that gets us up to 8. This can't be a multiple of 8 because it can't be a doubled 4 if that's a 4. And it can't be, well, I mean, that's what it would have to be. It's no good. So this can't be a 4 at least. So I've got 4 into one of these two cells, and that doesn't feel like a huge advance. Okay, now, can I at least limit what we're doubling here? I don't know if I can actually, because whatever you put there, if it's there as well, you stick a 1, 2 pair in here and it's fine. Okay, that's annoying. Right, now I'm going to ask a weird question. Where is double 2 in the puzzle? Because it's not in those cells because of that, and it's not in those cells because there's a 1, 2, 3 triple there. So it's either in these cells, where it might well be, or I think it has to be here. I don't know if that helps. That's annoying. Okay, I need to find something else. 1, 2, 7, 4, 8, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 9. Oh. Okay, slightly different question, but where are double 7 and double 5? They're not in this box where those are not candidates there. They're not in this box where we've got a 5, 7 pair. So the only places double 7 and double 5 can be, the doublers, are in these places. But they do include this spot. Oh, this is weird. I'm still a breakthrough short. I mean, I've got a lot of information, a lot of relevant and sassy questions, but I don't know how to put them all together. 9's in one of those two cells just by Sudoku. Very boring observation. Oh, it's all happening down here. This is where we've got to sort it out. Done everything else, really. Okay, I need to think harder about this area. If that was 6, 3, that's quite interesting. That would be a 1, because that would be a 6, that would be a 3, and that would be a 6. Ooh, and that would look at that cell and make it a 3, which would have to be the doubler. Oh, well, that doesn't work. That's extraordinary, but beautiful. If this was 6, this would be double 3. And that would be 6. And that would make this 1, this 3, that 6. But we've used double 3, so that can't be double 3. And it can't be... 6 anymore, so it can't exist. Okay, that's complex, but it's fun. And this can't be 6, and this can't be 3, and this can't be 6 now. And what does that tell me? That tells me one of these is a 4. Tells me we're doubling 2 or 4 there. I don't think... I was going to say this can't be 4, but it can. Although, can it? No, this can't be 4 anymore. That's changed things. The reason that could be 4 before was because that could be 4, I think. So if this was a 4 now, doubling to 8, you can't put 181 on those cells. So you're going to have to put 124 on them. But none of them can be a 4 because 4 there has forced 4 there. Wow. Okay, that's mad, but it is true. Oh, 222 is theoretically possible, but you can't do that, obviously. So this is not a 4, and the 4 in this group of cells has now become here. That is really quite useful, quite intricate, and very clever. Lovely bit of puzzle work by Anti-Knight there. So we get a 4 in one of those cells. I still don't know what this is, but that's because this can be 1, 2. Maybe this has to be 1, 2 now. No, let's see. We've got the doubled 2. Right, what was I asking earlier? Where did doubled 5 and doubled 7 go? Oh, it's no use. It doesn't mean anything yet. Oh, bobbins. Oh, I really thought we were doing something now. Right, this cell sees, is it a naked single? It sees 5, 1, 3, 6. 7 is in one of those two. 2 and 4 there, and 9 in the box. That is an 8. Now, this, can it be a double 4? Yes, it can still be a double 4. Beastly cell. I haven't got rid of double 4. In fact, where does double 4 go in the puzzle? That is a beautiful question. Double 4 can't go there. It can't go in that box. It's not in that cell. And it's not in that box. It's in this box. Oh, I thought that meant clearly this is double 4, but it's not clear because double 4 could be there and this could be a green 8. But double 4 is in one of these cells, and that is the doubler in this box. And therefore this is not the doubler. And that is relevant information. This is the doubler in the column, and it's double 1 times, that's 2, times 3 equals 6. And we've done, finally, that arrow. This is green. These don't have 3 in. They're 6, 7, 9. None of that has proved anything here. But we have now doubled 1, 2, 6, 8, and 9. We still have to double 4 in this box, and then 3, 5, and 7. This cell is 3 or 5. And since those are primes, and we have to put at least 1, 2 here, that's what's going on. And then this is also 3 or 5. What is it? 3, 5, and 7 still to place. So 3 can't be in this box. It could be in this one. Okay. That by Sudoku now is a 2 or a 7. It sees every other possible digit. These can't be 4s because the 4's doubled in this box. So they're 2, 7 or 9. There's only one place for 4 in the column. It's there. That fixes 7 in the box. No, in the column. 7 couldn't have been in those two. Right, in the column. That is 7. That's now a 2, 9 pair. 8, 7, 4, 9. One of these is a 6. That's not interesting. Do the 8 and 7 butter any parsnips for me? I don't think they do. Why aren't these 1, 2... Ah, right. If that was a 3, we'd have a 1, 2, 3 triple. That would force 1 and 2 into those cells. It just survives. That would force 3 here. Can't do anything with that. I think I need to be asking the questions again. 4 is doubled in that column. I've got 3, 5 and 7 now. 3 can't... This box has either a doubled 5 or a doubled 7 in it. I don't mean isn't it when I say in it. I mean it has it within it. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm so close to the finish now. 8. 8 in this box. 8 in box 7 goes there. 8 is in one of those cells. That's an X-wing, so 8 is in one of these. I have a feeling this is going to do nothing of any use. That can't be 8, because well, it can't be doubled, and that can't be 8, so that doesn't work. So 8's in one of those two, and I think that trail runs dry there. But let's have another look at this box. 1, 2, 4, 8 are sort of done. That cell has to go in one of these. But it could still be 3. Probably is. 8, 4, 7, 1, 2, 3. That is 5, 6 or 9 just by Sudoku. These are from 5, 7, 9. Hmm. 6, 8, 5. Why is there no obviousness going on? 2 in one of those cells. Has it really got to do with these 1, 2, 3 combos in columns 1, 2 and 3? I don't know. I don't know, and I do want to know. Right, what's this digit? Can't be even, because it sees 2, 4, 6 and 8. So it's odd. And that definitely means that this is not a doubler, which is very weird, but it's true. Therefore, these two are the same odd digit. But I don't think I have any information on what that odd digit is yet. Okay, I just have to think about this, surely. If this is an 8, and that's an 8, and that's an 8. Oh, I've got a 4 looking at these 4 pairs at the top. If this does anything, except uncolour cells, it'll be very irritating. That puts a 4 there. I'm just wondering if that does any. That puts a 4 in one of those two cells. I don't think that's actually going to be a huge lacuna on my part. No, okay, I'm not too bothered about not having seen that, obvious as it probably was for a while. But I don't know what else I can see. I mean, I've used all the arrows. I think they're done. Okay, I need to think then about these digits again. We've doubled 1, 6, 8, 2 and 9. So we're going to double 4 in this column. Then we've got 3, 5 and 7. So 8 is confined in this box, in this domino, with a doubler that is 3, 5 or 7. Do I really not know which? I don't think I do. But that's sort of information that I haven't had before. Now, if that can't be 1, ones would be getting quite interesting. If that was 1, that's 1, that's 1 on the arrow. That's 1. It doesn't really carry on. Bother. Oh, one of these is 6. That's become clear from when that wasn't 6. Is that interesting? No. How do you find the next interesting move in this puzzle? 72418 is in one of those. These are from 3569. That's not it. 7. It is going to be some sort of question about... Okay, so if there was a double 7 there, then 7 in this box would be here. 7 there. 7 would have to be here in row 6, which is a bit constrained. Ah, yeah, okay. That doesn't work, basically because that and that can't be 7 by Sudoku. So in this column, one of those is a 7. So they're not a 7. So this is either double 5 or double 3 as the doubler. That is also double 5 or double 3. The double 7 now has to go into this box in one of those cells. One of those is a double 7, and then we get a 7 in one of these two. Now, is this double 3 or double 5? It's different from this cell, which is a mirror of the doubler over there. So 3 and 5 see both of these, which also can't be 2, 4 or 8. Come on, 3. What else does that mean? These also see that cell and the doubler here, and they're different. So these can't be 3 or 5, and they're also not 4 or 1 or 2 or 8. This is a 6, 7, 9 triple. That is crazy times. I hope this helps, because that's really, really clever. This is a 6, 7, 9 triple, because the doubler there is different from the digit here, which is a mirror of the doubler there. That is one of the weirder things I've ever seen in one of these modifier puzzles. So this is not 6, 7, 9, 8. Well, I think it's also not whatever this, either 3 or 5, because both of them see one end of this arrow. So it's got to be a 1. That's absolutely bonkers as well. So we get this arrow done over here. 1, 3, 6. And that must give us an advance. That's a 2 now. These aren't. Even though I never found out which of those doublers was which out of 3 and 5. I feel like we're on to something now. 2, 1, 4. The 1s, that's what I was doing. 1, 1. Yes, that 1 is looking across at this 2, 1 pair. Surely that's going to sort all the 1s and 2s and 3s in these columns. The 1 in column 1 is there, in row 1. The 2 is there. 3 I'm not so sure about, but that can look after itself. Now I've got a 3 here. That sorts out these doublers that have been so entertaining. We get a 5 there. This is a double 3 in this pair. And I do know where it goes. It goes in the middle because I've got that 3. So we do some more colouring. Red there, green there, green there. This can't be a 4, so the double 4 in this box goes there. This is a doubler. These are green. The whole colouring is done. This is double 7, which is quite important. Not 007, but double 7. And we must be on the home straight now. This group is a 2, 4, 5 triple with 4 in the middle, 5 at the bottom and 2 at the top. That's not a 5. These cells aren't 5s. They're a 3, 8 pair that I haven't disambiguated yet. 4, 2, 1, 6, 2, 8, 3, 1, 4, 5. Up the central column is there. 6 up the central column is there. The others are 7 and 9 at the top row. I've got a 7, 9 pair, and I get my 3. Now I've got a 5, 6, 9 triple in row 2, leaving a 3, 8 pair in the middle. which I could have got a different way, I see now. This pair is a 1/8 pair that I can write in. No, hang on. Yes, it is. 1/8 pair. That's not 7. This must be determined. It's a 9. They're all done. 2 and 9 are done. These central rows have been screaming out to be filled in for a while, and I've only just noticed them. 6 and 8 there. Now, this is a 2, 5, 3 triple that's done. That's become an 8. That's going to sort out 8 and 3 at the top. 7, 9 pairs. That is a 9. That's a 7. We're finishing off now. I am happy to say, what a clever puzzle. I mean, it's just absolute joy when a puzzle works this way. It really is. It's so brilliant. 5, 9. That's a 6. 7, 9 pairs are sorted by columns 6 and 5. And as long as there's no mistakes, I'm quite pleased with that solve, even though it's 41 minutes. Brilliant puzzle by Anti-Knight, and I loved solving it. Thank you. And, yeah, brilliant. Hope to see you again next time. Thank you so much for watching. See you then. Bye for now.